Friends, welcome you back in geological knowledge. So as we are dealing with very important topic from the point of view of GSI, means the calculation of ore reserves, in which we have talked about the basic assumptions, basic concept, and as well as some very important factors or the parameters of ore reserve estimation, in which we have talked about cutoff grade, the average width or the average grade, and the tonnage factor, and some other factors we have also talked about. And today we will discuss the most important part of this topic, that is the ore reserve estimation methods, and the questions will be asked from this area. And in the previous one or two videos, these were only for the basic conception, because if you don't know about the basic conceptual part, then it's very tough for you to understand the formulas as well as the concept behind that. Okay, so let's start our discussion. The ore reserve estimation methods, the exploration that delineates the geometry as well as the quality of the body, and with the help of the interpolation as well as the exploration, that the volume of the ore body can be determined. And this volume estimation in the geological exercise is a geological exercise rather than the mathematical exercises, as lots of interpolation as well as the extrapolation, they are required on the basis of the geological variations in the ores. The volume of the ore can be determined by the various methods depending upon the type of the exploration, the opening spaces, the complex or the simple nature of the deposit, as well as the quality of the deposit. Okay, so the uh, method of the volume estimation of an ore, which can be determined by using various methods, and depending upon the type of the exploration, the openings present in the ore minerals, the complex as well as the simple nature of the deposit, and the quality of the deposit, means their physical properties, their chemical properties, or their structural properties, means in which type of nature it's occurring, whether it's folded region, faulted region, or any jointed blocks. Okay, and the openings also, the open spaces which have been created by the faulting, jointing, or some other parameters like foliation or the lineation parameters. So they will also define the method. And the quality of the deposit, means which type of quality is there, whether it's weathered product, weathered material, or the okay, the algae are present on the surface of the mineral. So all these things will be defined, the decide the fate of that volume analysis. So therefore two or three methods they should be used to cross check the volume or the reserve. Okay, the tonnage as well as the grade, these are calculated by conventional methods based on the geometrical models such as the square, rectangular, polygonal, and the triangular blocks, and methods of sections such as the cross, longitudinal, vertical, as well as the plane or the horizontal structural contour sections. Okay, successful application of a particular methods that depends upon the shape, attitude, complexity of a deposit, and the pattern of the sampling. Okay, so means what is the shape of that ore mineral, the attitude, the complexity of a deposit, as well as the pattern of sampling. The conventional methods have been found have the following shortcomings. Okay, so there are some demerits or the some shortcomings in the conventional methods, and these are follows. So the area of the influence assigned to individual openings or the drill holes, that is usually not actual. The methods do not provide confidence in the reserve, and they don't relate with without amount of sorry they don't relate with amount of drilling, and the hence hamper optimization of the drilling cost. So there are shortcomings also in conventional methods. The different methods which are used for the different types of deposits, they are given in the details. Okay, the reserve computation of the homogeneous bedded horizontal or the bedding deposits, low dipping deposits. Okay, so firstly we will talk about the homogeneous beds, bedded horizontal or the low dipping beds, how we can calculate the reserve computation. So in general, this type of deposit, they consist of generally limestone, iron, coal, gypsum, potash, evaporite and bauxite or etc. Okay, and this in such type of deposit, the different methods which are used depending upon the type of openings or the grid pattern, irregular pattern as well as the alternate pattern. Okay, and these are described in the details as follows. That's the topic of our discussion. So this is the, in figure you can see the grid pattern of sampling or on opening. Okay, means how they are located, grid pattern, irregular pattern or the alternate grid pattern, as you can see in the diagram. So firstly we will talk about the grid pattern and the included area method. So this method is adopted where the openings sampling or the borehole drilling that is done along a rectangular or the square grid pattern. Okay, so this method is adopted when the opening of the sample or the borehole drilling, these are done along a rectangular or the square grid pattern. And in this method, so one rectangle of square of the grade is taken, as you can see in the diagram figure 7.22, and the grade thickness is computed of the center point of the grid by taking the average of the thickness of all the four openings at the corner of the rectangular of a square, as you can see in the diagram. So the grid pattern and included area TA. Okay, so TA is the average thickness of the block as intersected in boreholes 10, 11, 12 and 12A. Okay, as you can see in the diagram, and the thickness is computed by formula T equals T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 and divided by 4. So 4 thickness are there and borehole thickness are there as well as divided by 4. So that gives the thickness of the borehole. And this thickness of center point or the average thickness of the 4 openings T1, T2, T3 and T4 are the thickness intersected in borehole 1, borehole 2, 3 and 4 respectively in figure 23. Okay, as you can see here in figure 23. So the influence area by extended area method, where borehole falls at the center of the influence area in case of the grid pattern opening, as you can see. Okay, and if we talk about the average grade, so average grade that is computed by formula T1 C1 plus T2 C2 plus T3 C3 plus T4 C4 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4, where C1 C2 and C3 and C4, these are the SA values of load intersected at in each borehole. Okay, and T1 T2, they are the thickness of boreholes. And if we have to compute the volume, so volume V that equals to X into Y into T. Okay, and reserve of one rectangle or the shape square, that is R equals to V into BD, where the abbreviations X equals to X represents the length along the strike or the length along X grid, Y length along the Y grid, and BD that is the bulk density of the ore. Okay, and the second one is extended area and the grid pattern method. So in this method, the area of influence that is taken around each opening, thus constructing a rectangular keeping opening at the center of the rectangle, as you can see in the figure 7.23. We can see the area of the influence that is taken around each openings. Okay, thus construction of a rectangle keeping the opening at center of the rectangular part. So thus the thickness intersected in the borehole becomes the thickness of the rectangle. So thickness of the intersected in the borehole, that becomes subsequently the thickness of the rectangle, and the reserve of each rectangle is followed and graded, and the grade remains as intersected in the borehole. So volume can be calculated V equals S into T, where S is the thickness, sorry, S is the area of the recharge, and T is the thickness of the borehole. And the reserve of one block of rectangular, that equals to V into BD, or that subsequently we can put the value of V, that is S into T, and BD. So where BD is the bulk density, R is the reserve of one rectangle. Okay, and the reserve of the total deposit hence can be calculated. Re equals R1 plus R2 plus R3 dash dash up to Rn. Okay, and the grade of the deposit, that can also be calculated. R1 G1 plus R2 G2 plus R3 G3 up to Rn divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, where G1, G2 and G3, these are the grade of each rectangle or the block, and R1, R2, R3, these are the reserve of each rectangle or the block. Okay, and if we talk about the irregular grid pattern included area methods or the triangular method, so when the sampling or the opening drilling is done at irregular pattern, the triangles are drawn to determine the area using included area method. Okay, so the rectangular as well as the square shape, they were of regular grid, but if we talk about the irregular grid, so we have to construct triangles which are drawn to determine the area using the included area method, which is generally, and this method is used generally when the sampling points, these are not in the grid pattern as we have talked about. So the area is divided into a number of triangles. Okay, and in each triangle the arithmetic mean of the width of the three samples is basically three samples that is taken, and the arithmetic mean of the width of three sample points is taken as the average width. Okay, and the average grid of the triangle, that is obtained by dividing the sum of the width grade produced by the sum of the products by the sum of the three widths. Okay, so this is the diagram drilling or the opening of in irregular pattern, the construction of triangles, that is the influence area by included methods T1, T2 and T3. These are the thickness of the overload intersected in the boreholes, as you can see in the diagram. The average thickness and the grid of the triangle, they are determined along the surface area as described below. The formula average thickness, that is T1 plus T2 plus T3 divided by 3, so that gives the average thickness, where T1, T2, T3, these are the thickness of the load intersected in the three boreholes. And if we talk about the average grid, so average grid is calculated by T1 C1 plus T2 C2 plus T3 C3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3, where C1, C2 and C3, these are the grades of the load intersected in each of the three boreholes. Surface area of triangle, that is calculated by S equals half perpendicular into base. Okay, that's the formula of the surface area of the triangle. And volume of triangle, that is calculated by V1, that equals to S into TA, or TA is the thickness. Okay, and S is the surface area calculated by S equals half into perpendicular into base. And the next one is irregular grid pattern and the area influence methods or the polygon methods. So the procedure is to determine the area of the influence of exploratory point or openings like pit or boreholes, and the construction of polygon blocks by perpendicular bisectrix drawn method of the triangle. In the diagram you can see, sorry, triangle 7.25, as in the diagram you can see here. Okay, so the construction of the area influenced by the extended area method in irregular opening case in the thus polygons area is found, the opening falls at the center of the area and the thickness intersecting in the thickness of the polygons. Okay, the polygons they are constructed by drawing the perpendicular bisectrix along the triangle sides joining each borehole. Okay, so these polygon they are constructed by perpendicular bisecting the triangle sides joining each borehole. Okay, so these are how the perpendiculars are drawn, and that same is given here. The construction of polygon blocks by perpendicular bisectrix method of the triangles as described above, and the apex of each triangle are located at the point of opening. So the polygon can also be constructed by joining the angle of bisectrix of each triangle. Okay, so there is another method of polygon construction, that is joining the angle of bisectrix of each triangle, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, 7.26 construction of polygon area by extended area method and angle bisectrix. Okay, method, but this gives incorrect results sometimes, as the angle bisectrix point do not fall at equal distances from apex of the triangle in ABC, as you can see. Okay, in ABC, suppose in ABC triangle for example, so this method is not very accurate. Okay, because the angle bisectrix points they don't fall at equal distances. Okay, so that was the joining of the angle of bisectrix of each triangle, but sometimes this may give false influence area. Therefore perpendiculars bisectrix should be used for the computation of the surface area. The area they may be measured by graphical methods or by planimeter or by computation divided into simple triangles. So the height of the each polygon is the thickness of the ore body with the polygonal base. So the entire outline ore body that is divided into a number of polygon prisms of different heights, that is the thicknesses, as we have seen in the diagram. The grade intersected in the openings is the grade of the entire polygon prism. So volume is calculated by volume of polygon, that equals to S into T, where S is the surface of the polygon and T is the thickness of the polygon or the ore body. Okay, and next is the method of isolines. So the method of isolines that is used in geological exploration to represent the variability of shape and the properties of a mineral bodies. So this method depends upon the rule of gradual change from one opening to another. And in this technique the equal value, that is thickness or the grade points, they are joined by simple lines, just like drawing the topographic contours. Okay, and this is too laborious, especially when applied to multi-elemental deposits where the isolines are to be drawn separately for each element. Okay, so sometimes it's laborious because one has to draw the contour lines for each and every element. However, with the help of the computer it has become very easy or easier to compute the determination of the reserve as well as the grade. By this method is very helpful in the open cast mining, especially when one has to decide the bench wise reserve as well as the grade of the ore. Okay, so in terms of the open cast mine, this method is very important and very significant as well as useful also. And when the contours are drawn using different values, the different terminologies are used depending upon the some parameters or which are given below. So first one is isopack maps or isopack methods. Okay, and the isopack maps, these are drawn through points at which the formation or the load are of equal true thickness. So firstly we will understand that what are isopack maps. So the maps which are constructed on the basis of the same equal stratigraphic thicknesses. Okay, so iso means same and pack means the stratigraphic thickness. So the contour lines which are joined by the places of equal stratigraphic thickness, these are known as isopack maps, and the same is given here. These maps are drawn through points at which the formation or the load, they are of equal true thickness, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, so isopack plan preparation on the basis of the extrapolation contours at 2 meter interval for the actual thickness. Okay, so the contour interval, that is 2 meters. Okay, and in open cast mining, for the benching purpose, the contour interval that may be taken equal to bench height, and that will give the bench wise reserve of the, as well as the total reserve. Okay, and suppose the bench height is kept 2 meter, then the contour interval should be taken as 2 meter. That's written here. That is, in open cast mining, the bench thickness or the benching purpose, the contour interval that may be taken equal to the bench height. Okay, so that's why the bench height is 2 meters. So successively the contour interval, that will also be kept as 2 meters. And besides this, the bench wise, the benches are kept horizontal, therefore the contours are drawn with RL, okay, of the thickness, that is just like those of the topographical contours. Okay, and in figure you can see the isopack plan is prepared on the basis of the extrapolation of the contours at 2 meter interval for actual thickness, as you can see in the diagram we have discussed. Okay, so the area falling between each contour is to be determined, for example, in S1 from 0 to 2 meter, S2 from 2 to 4 meter, and S3 from 4 to 6 meter, and S4 from 6 to 8 meters, and S5 from 8 to 9 meters, and 9 meter is the maximum thickness, as you can see. Okay, so these are the boreholes, okay, and their successive thickness also. And in such cases the volume is calculated by formula V equals S into T, and V equals to S1 into 0 plus 2 by 2 divided by 0 plus 2 by 2, and therefore V, that will equals to S1 0 plus 2 by 2 plus S2 2 plus 4 by 2, and then S3 4 plus 6 by 2, and S4 6 plus 8 by 2, and S5, that is 8 plus 9 by 2. Okay, because these are constructed, the areas falling between each contour, these are determined, for example, S1 from 0 to 2, S2 2 to 4, S3 4 to 6, S4 6 to 8, and S5 is 8 to 9 meters. You have to remember that 9 is the maximum thickness. Okay, the isopack can also be transferred on the vertical plane considering the horizontal thickness, and this may be named as longitudinal vertical isopack maps. Okay, and in this case the horizontal thickness is considered with 2 meter contour interval, as you can see in the diagram. So longitudinal vertical sections showing the horizontal thickness on a vertical plane, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, and the here point to consider, remember, that is the contour interval, that is 2 meter, and the method of calculation of volume is same as well as the described above. Okay, and the next one is isocore maps. So isocore, they are used in the deposit of more or less uniform grade. Okay, that is basically in the coal deposits. So the map is prepared just like the isopack maps, but here instead of the true thickness, the thickness intersected in the openings is considered and the contours are drawn. Okay, and the best use we have discussed that is in coal deposits, and isocores are lines join the points of the equal vertical thickness in a bed. Okay, isocores or lines joining the points of equal true thickness, as we have previously talked. Isopack, these are lines joining points of equal true thickness, and isocore, these are the lines joining points of equal vertical thickness. Okay, and next one is the isograde map. So in isopack maps, the contour of the different thickness, they are drawn, which gives the quantity of the ore deposit. And to understand the quality of the deposit, the grade of respective thickness, they are plotted, and isograde lines, they are drawn, which gives an idea about the quality of the ore and its variations, as you can see in the diagram. So here the elemental value in isopack maps, the contour of the elements in different thicknesses, they are indicating the variation of the element in the particular thicknesses. Okay, so elemental value in the isopack maps, the contour of the element in different thicknesses area, that indicate the variation elemental in a particular thickness point. Okay, the isograde maps of a particular slice or the bench can also be drawn to understand the variation of the quality in that particular slice or the bench. Okay, and in this way, different isograde maps, they are drawn for the different slices or the benches. Okay, and as you can see in the diagram, the variation of calcium oxide CaO in isopack map of limestone deposit, map shows overall distribution of CaO in the area, as you can see in the diagram. And steep the step of bench of 2-meter thickness between 2-meter and 4-meter with exact 2-meter thickness, the figure shows bench with variation of calcium oxide or CaO. Okay, so this was our discussion about the ore reserve estimation, their methods. Okay, thank you.